Greetings all. Hot day, kind of hazy, but beautiful. Still, lots of things are happening that hopefully you're keeping up with. But one of the important things I've seen recently is a Forbes, Forbes YouTube video. And on the video is a U.S. Senator, Congressman named Tommy Tuberville. And he gives a straightforward answer to why I'm doing videos like this. A lot of you are trying to get out of America and move into Africa. Other parts of the world too, but people are saying we are going home. But one of the things that are happening besides the war going on in Europe that they have spent so much money on and now having to withdraw, you see slowly less news about Ukraine. And as Israel is digging a hole for itself, people are coming out hard on Israel. All the people who were afraid to before, afraid of saying anything, even they are beginning to talk. The Germans now are beginning to charge people with anti-Semitic acts if they criticize what Israel is doing. You see what this war has caused? Do you see? You see why now in the beginning I said, look, don't get involved in this. And if Africans still try to get involved in it, claiming that they want to make peace. But it wasn't about the peace. These leaders were going to beg for food. And they were trying to do it under guise of trying to be peacemakers, but it didn't work. And the same leaders now are welcoming American forces, British forces, French forces, German forces into East Africa. Bases all along the Northeast African coast. Bases in South Africa. Kenya has become the poster boy instead of Ghana. The man from Kenya who talks the game of we been treated like little boys is still a boy and acting more so. One from Zambia. Yesterday I saw word that America is taking Zimbabwe off the list. And the leader of Zambia has come out and said how great the idea is. Did he say, I'm not going to America until you lift the sanctions off Zimbabwe? No. Did he say, I'm not going to Europe until you lift the sanctions off Zimbabwe? No. As many times as he can get there, he ran there, begging. But the funny thing is, this article that I was telling you about in Forbes, that was put out by Forbes, a video with Tommy Tuberville. He says the United States government is broke. And this from a senator who knows now. He is one who tried to block more financing for war in Ukraine. But the war machine is spending so much money to get these guys. If you see the people who were trying to push the war, now they are backtracking and say, hey, the money is not going to Ukraine. It's staying in the United States to employ people. And that's what's been happening for the last 4 years. The employment rate has stayed low, well, not among the black community, but it has stayed low because of the war. The spending on the war is what's keeping this heated economy with the inflated prices, and that's why you can't afford, but all the money that you can make is going towards food, housing, taxes. He says the money that's supposed to go into Social Security is spent before it gets to this, before it's paid into the system. Right now they're borrowing money to pay, like say March. They're borrowing money to pay March. And then when the funds come in at the end of March, April, they don't even have enough to pay back what they borrowed. Because so much money is being spent on that war. But guess what? They're printing money so that they can send troops to Africa. And those of you who are moving into Africa, it might appear everything is fine when you get there. But a year and a half from now, the new war zone is going to be affecting you. Not only because you're going to a war zone, but because the money that's being spent there in Israel and Ukraine cannot be paid back. And if you're on Social Security, even on a pension, the company that you work for giving that pension might not have the money to pay for it. The cost of your medicine, medical care, whatever you're paying for, it's going to go up. Because now you got 3 wars. And they're going into Africa under the false impression that they're giving you the impression that they're going into Africa to stop China. But it's not to stop China, it's to stop Africa. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is to stop Africa. The Europeans can't do it. And the Europeans were the ones planning on doing it. Like I told you 2 years ago, the EU said, this is our garden that we are coming to make it better than the people who live there can make it. And now the EU is broke. Even the German machine is falling apart. So guess who has to take up the slack? And guess what they're using to take it up? Credit. If you had to buy your groceries with credit for years, guess what will happen to you? And guess what's going to happen now? See, they're talking about the federal deficit. 37, well, they say it's 37. But the reality is that it's close to 80 trillion. It's close to 80 trillion. The off books. The one that don't keep on the federal books now, which is in private hands. They call it the private bank. They call it a federal bank, but it's not anything to do with the government. It's a private bank. And all the credit from from 2006 till today is being collected by them. It's being hidden. The one that you see, that they tell you about, is about a third of what is actually was the actual number. And after this election, that's when you're going to begin to feel it. They gotta keeping things running, propped up until after the election. No matter who gets elected to president, who gets elected, not elected, who gets selected to lead the destruction, you're going to feel it. Nobody can change the trajectory of what's going on in America today or in the world. The Chinese saved them in 2006, 2008. But as you can see now, the Chinese have stepped back, are not putting money into the American economy. They are not. The Russians are not putting money into the American economy, and what is there, they're trying to take. It's like you have money in the bank, and your neighbor don't like you, so he goes to the bank and take the money out of your bank account so you will starve. That's what's happening. Hope you guys are paying attention to what's going on, even though it's not affecting you as much now as it will in the future. I hope you can make some plans, some alternate plans, because it is going to get bad. It is going to get bad. I know people who say they hope that it's not going to get as bad as it could, but I'm here to tell you, it's going to get worse than you think it was going to get. I don't have the creds that a lot of people do, but who knows? Maybe you'll call me and say, I see, I told you. But me, I won't be calling you and tell you, I see, I told you. You can always go back and look. All right. Hope you enjoy your day wherever you are. Peace. Stay safe. And remember, this information, plan for what's coming. Plan. Wherever you are. Peace.